Hi, folks. Thanks for attending. We're going to give it a couple of minutes before we get started. Still got a few people signing on, so we'll give it one more minute. Well, I think we'll get started. We crossed the 100 mark. I appreciate everybody joining us. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're going to explore how integrated AV systems enhance your guest engagement, streamline operations, and deliver measurable ROI in the hospitality and gaming industries. I'm Jim Miner from Solutionz. I'll be walking you through with the conversation with our team. Joining me today are Jay Pomante, VP of Integration, who leads many of our large-scale hospitality and casino AV projects. Also joining us, Scott Kroeze, VP of Professional Services, who ensures that all of our systems perform flawlessly long after installation, a key to the success of any hospitality project. So we'll walk through some real-world examples and strategies that drive guest satisfaction and operational efficiency. What we're covered today is I'm going to go through a little bit about Solutionz for people that may not be familiar with us. We're then going to step into some AV trends in both hotels, casinos, and hospitalities that we're experiencing. Jay will then step in and start to talk about LED displays and upgrades and talk about cost drivers and why early AV planning really matters. And then Scott's going to join us and talk about keeping AV systems running with 24/7 support. And in hospitality, that is the key to this, is keeping our systems up and operational, and Scott's group does a great job. At the end, we'd love to take any questions or any comments that anybody has. So we look forward to hearing some questions at the end. So I'll give you a little bit about Solutionz. Solutionz is one of the nation's leading audiovisual integration firms. We have offices across the United States, a team of more than 400 dedicated professionals. We design, build, and support technology environments, connect people, enhance experiences, and drive business performance. We're also a proud member of the PSNI Global Alliance. That is an elite network of certified AV integrators across the world. Through this partnership, we can deliver consistent, high-quality technology deployments anywhere in the world, backed by the same standards of engineering, safety, and support you'd expect from a trusted local partner. What sets Solutionz apart is our people. Our engineers, project managers, and service technicians bring decades of experience in AV, IT, and construction in the hospitality market. We're problem solvers who understand the operational realities of complex environments and the importance of technology that performs flawlessly day after day in a 24-hour environment. At our core, we believe technology should present effortless, powerful, but invisible. That philosophy guides every project we take. As a company, we're built on expertise, reliability, and long-term relationships. I'm very proud to say many of our hospitality customers have been with us over 15 years, and that is long-term dedication, and we appreciate it. We've spent over 20 years partnering with many of the nation's leading gaming providers, tribal gaming providers, and independent operators. Our experience spans large-scale resort upgrades, developments in technology, upgrades into existing properties, and smaller casinos and hotel projects across the country. Our focus is simple, and that is delivering integrated AV system to enhance the guest experience, streamline operations, and bring each client's vision to life. From the energy of the gaming floor to the comfort of the guest room, casinos today rely on technology that connects lighting, sound, video, and environmental control into one seamless experience. On the sportsbook side, we've been very fortunate. We've partnered with FanDuel, the leading sportsbook operator in America since 2018. We've supported their expansion from a single site in northern New Jersey in 2018 to over 30 sites across the nation, with custom design environments that bring energy and excitement to every space. Over the past year, we've worked closely with FanDuel's construction team to integrate large-scale LED displays and dynamic AV systems into more of their properties, creating high-impact visual experiences that engage fans and enhance brand identity. Whether we're designing a new property, modernizing an existing venue, or helping brand scale nationally, we believe integration is innovation, creating reliable, intuitive, and future-ready systems that elevate every guest experience and strengthen every operator's success is our goal. What sets us apart? And that is collaboration. It's how we collaborate to bring complex visions to life. Technology by itself doesn't make a project successful. It's the people, the partnerships, and the shared commitment that transform design intent into operational excellence. The foundations begin with, excuse me, I apologize, I jumped a slide ahead. From the very beginning of our project, we engage closely with architects, AV consultants, and design teams to ensure that technology enhances the built environments and supports the overall guest experience. We understand that in hospitality and gaming, especially, technology must fit seamlessly into the architectural and brand vision, not compete with it. It needs to be a consistent flow from the architectural design. In many cases, that collaboration starts early in concept development, where we work alongside consultants and designers to evaluate solutions, coordinate infrastructure, and align technology with the project's goals, schedule, and budget. This early partnership helps minimize surprises, later keeps construction efficient, and ensures that the technology experience feels intentional from day one. On select projects, the AV consultant leads the design, defining specifications and equipment standards and system architecture. In those situations, our job is to execute their vision with precision and care. We take pride in translating design drawings into real-world performance, ensuring every detail from conduit paths to cable labeling to final system calibration aligns with the consultant's intent. Our teams understand that execution is an art form in itself, bringing design to life exactly as envisioned, on time and within scope. Once the project reaches construction, collaboration becomes even more critical. Our project managers and field engineers work directly with general contractors, electrical teams, and other trades to coordinate sequencing, manage logistics, and maintain safety and quality standards. On large-scale bids where timelines are tight and dozens of trades share the same footprint. Communication and coordination make all the difference. We see ourselves as an extension of the construction team, helping anticipate challenges before they become problems. We know that successful design transformations are achieved over years, not months. Sustained collaboration from the first design meeting to the final commissioning is what ensures success. We know that successful consultants, architects, contractors, and integrators operate as one cohesive team. The result is technology that feels effortless, powerful, intuitive, and perfectly aligned with the space and the experience it was designed to serve. That's the role we take pride in, being the bridge between design vision and field execution. We bring creative intent and technical reality together to ensure every project not only looks and sounds amazing, but performs flawlessly for years to come. Our services, to talk about what we're talking about, at Solutionz, our AV system design and integration is supported by a wide range of complementary technology and services, because we understand that creating an exceptional guest experience and operator experience takes more than just great audiovisual systems. It takes a connected, intelligent infrastructure that performs flawlessly every day. That foundation begins with structured cabling and network infrastructure. Our network infrastructure work is from the edge to the IDF. And that's the backbone that really connects every display, control processor, and endpoint throughout the property. We also deliver distributed antenna systems known as DAS systems, ensuring strong, consistent cellular coverage across the entire facility. Whether on a gaming floor, in a convention space, or in your room, reliable connectivity is no longer a luxury. It's an expectation. And we can help you bring that to your hotel in primary and secondary markets. Beyond infrastructure, we also focus on empowering the people who use the technology. I believe this is a real strength of Solutionz. Our certified training professionals work directly with our engineering team to deliver hands-on, scenario-based instruction tailored to each property's operation. This ensures your staff is prepared for immediate success. They know how to operate the systems confidently and resolve issues quickly. This also helps our clients develop repeatable training programs that simplify the onboarding of new team members. So knowledge isn't lost as teams evolve. Technology should empower your people, not intimidate them. And our goal is to make every system as intuitive and approachable as possible. Once the system's up and running, our work doesn't stop. We provide remote monitoring, preventative maintenance, and proactive service that keeps systems performing at their best long after installation. By continuously tracking performance and addressing issues before they become problems, we help our clients avoid downtime, protect their investment, and maintain consistent guest experiences. Together with these services, it's an end-to-end support model. Scott will discuss these services in more detail shortly, but what I want to emphasize is this. Our goal is to make sure every technology investment continues to deliver long after the grand opening. We design systems that evolve with your property, support your staff, and maintain the same level of excellence in year 5 as they do on day 1. It's a goal of Solutionz, and we've met it. We're going to just take a pause here and start to talk about the hotel piece. And we'll start with hotels and we'll jump to casinos in a second. The hotels have transitioned quite significantly from a technology perspective over the last 5 years. Solutionz is very fortunate to have been selected as a Crestron Elite Hospitality Partner. Allows us to deliver an expanded range of technology solutions for our hotel clients, both large and small. Traditionally, AV integration in hotel and hospitality environments is always focused on the extremes of the property, the presidential suite at the top of the space, the public space at the bottom, such as lobbies, restaurants, meeting rooms, and convention centers. Today, however, the core of the hotel, the guest rooms themselves, have become a vital part of the technology design. Modern guests today expect seamless connectivity, control within their personal space. Through a partnership with Crestron, we can now integrate systems that enable video casting from guest phones and laptops directly to in-room displays and audio systems, while also offering environmental control, drapery control, lighting, and temperature, all managed from a single intuitive interface. The guest room has raised the bar. The expectations of our customers have certainly increased, and we're here to meet them. This evolution transforms each room into a personalized, connected environment that enhances guest comfort, convenience, and overall experience. Sensors then keep the property management system updated in real time, and your staff can manage rooms centrally through a single pane of glass dashboard. So as an elite partner, we have helped the property elevate that guest experience while reducing operational cost. We'll now move into the casino. So the role of AV in a casino is success. When you walk into a casino, you instantly feel the energy, the lights, the sounds, the motion. That experience isn't accidental. It's the result of a quality audiovisual design. The technology that shapes how guests see, hear, and feel the space. AV is what transforms architecture into atmosphere and turns a building into an experience. On the gaming floor, AV drives excitement and engagement. Dynamic LED walls, lighting, and music build the energy. We also then have quieter zones like lounges, restaurants, VIP areas that maintain comfort and rhythm across the facility. Digital signage, wayfinding, guide guests naturally through your property, reducing confusion while amplifying your brand experience. Gives us a chance to really amplify your brand in our digital signage solutions. In short, AV creates the invisible thread that really connects people to the place. But AV isn't just about entertainment, and I keep coming back to this, and I'm going to continue to. It's part of the operational core. Control systems tie lighting, sound, and display into one centralized network for easier management. Event venues, meeting rooms, convention spaces, all depend on AV for communication and performance. It's the infrastructure that keeps the entire property synchronized and efficient. So the role of AV in a casino isn't just visual or technical, it's strategic. It enhances the guest experience, improves operations, and strengthens the property's brand. When done right, AV doesn't just support the casino, it assists in defining what that casino is. So why invest in an integrated AV system? In today's gaming environment, success depends on more than just great design or hospitality. It's about creating experience that connects every guest, every space, and every system. That's where integrated AV comes in. First, integrated AV systems transform the gaming floor into an immersive high-energy environment. Coordinated lighting, sound, and digital video set the tone, amplify excitement, and reinforce your brand identity. Guests just don't play, they feel the experience, and that emotion keeps them on the floor longer and brings them back more often. Second, integration means unified control, and I'll come back to it again. One platform managing these displays of lighting, audio, and environmental systems across the property. Staff can adjust or monitor everything from a single interface, reducing downtime and eliminating system conflicts. And third, it's about long-term value. The integrated AV infrastructure lowers maintenance costs, supports monitoring, and makes future upgrades simple. No more piecemeal systems that we've all dealt with over the years that can't talk to each other. Single pane of glass from an operational perspective. Finally, AV gives your property a competitive edge, a consistent, high-quality guest experience from the moment your customers leave their vehicle. When you arrive to the gaming floor or to the guest room, strengthens the brand and distinguishes your casino in a very crowded gaming market today. In short, in my opinion, investing in integrated AV systems isn't just a technology decision. It's a strategic investment in experience efficiency and brand identification. So I'm going to hand this off to Jay Pomante to start to talk about some specific technology within the space. Jay?
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone, for joining. So I'm going to nerd out a little bit here and take on the engineering and new tech updates here, which is my passion, is engineering. So, excuse me if I get a little passionate at times. So, as you probably already know, there's tons of new tech always coming to the market. It's very hard to keep up with. Every day you're seeing something new, and with new features and new ways to be able to, spend your dollars, right? So for AV upgrades, it's very important, as with any other upgrade, it's very important to spend your capital dollars in the right manner, right? Ideally, if we can spend some capital dollars and lower our operational expenses as a direct result, that would be best case scenario, right? So today I'm going to look at two areas that kind of shape the future of this, hospitality and entertainment space. And those two areas are smarter control systems and next generation display technology in the form of DV-LED. So first we'll hit some updates on the control system front. And I'd like to highlight a partner of ours, control system company called Savvy. Savvy's really at the cutting edge of making and managing AV systems and, allowing them to be more simple and efficient. Savvy is a very scalable and affordable solution, all the way from your individual casino, hotel, or even sports bar, all the way up to the largest of venues. Its scalability really allows it to, be easily ramped up and down as the need arises. Savvy's compatible with WebOS, which is a feature of LG displays. So any newer LG displays that feature WebOS, it's pretty compatible with. And what this allows you to do is really a one-wire solution to your displays. And that one-wire solution allows you to save a lot on infrastructure, especially on structured cabling, switch port density. Obviously, the larger scale we're talking about, the more the savings can be. And for anybody that's interested in doing an upgrade and possibly keeping your existing displays, Savvy can be compatible with any manufacturer displays with the simple addition of a small LG WebOS box. Savvy's also compatible with Pro Idiom encryption, which is the standard that most cable TV providers and DirecTV use to provide content to your facilities. So, that gives you a little more flexibility on your content. One of the biggest features I wanted to highlight with Savvy is its overlay features. So if you take a look at some of the pictures in the slide, you sort of see the middle picture really shows it very well. You can see we have a live video in the middle with some overlay around the outside, and that overlay can really be anything. If you're a small bar and you want to have your menus up there and some announcements or a sports ticker, you can really do any of that. If you're a casino and you want to be able to just flash some jackpot announcements when a jackpot is hit, all of that dynamic content can be customized within the Savvy system. And Savvy really provides the content management as well. So you can upload images to the Savvy system via cloud or locally on-prem, really making it easy for you to manage your content dynamically, I guess would be the word. So as Jim mentioned, and something we hear quite often is that phrase, single pane of glass. Who doesn't want one place to go to view your entire system from an audio perspective, from a video perspective, from a signage perspective, and even from a troubleshooting perspective? With Savvy, you get all of that in one single interface. You can see a couple of screen grabs, from some interfaces that the Savvy system is capable of. The UI is very customizable, which is a huge feature. You can see on the iPad there we overlaid a floor plan of a facility, and that allows us to drop the TVs in the individual locations, really making it easy for your end users and operators to find a TV, send new content to it, and move on. You're not going to struggle around with TV 31 and where is that, and I got to go look for it on some other map somewhere else. It really gives you that customization and flexibility to make anybody be able to operate the system. We can operate different areas on different schedules. As Jim had mentioned, you might want lower volume in some of your lounges and reception areas, and then higher volume on your casino floor or in your sports book. All of this is customizable and can be scheduled at different times for some automation. Casinos typically ramp up at night and at certain times. We can automatically ramp volumes, change content, do different things based off your specific use. Another feature is the cloud or on-premise options. So, depending on what your IT department prefers, you can either house the server locally on site, which would be obviously the on-prem option, or we can host it in the cloud and give you that scalability as well. Savvy does a great job with live demos. So, if this does pique your interest, get a hold of us. We can arrange a live demo for pretty much any, scenario we're talking about. There is some type of demo we can show you. In short, Savvy's intuitive, scalable, designed for non-technical staff. It keeps your operations agile and consistent, and it really minimizes your staff needs for operating, and therefore it lowers your operational costs. All right, on to the LEDs, one of my favorites. One of my favorites thing coming out right now and really advances in technology is in the DV LED market. LEDs have really redefined how properties capture attention. From immersive sportsbook walls to digital art features and anything in between, LEDs can really increase impact, reliability, and energy efficiency. So I'm going to take a moment and dispel some myths about LED that, we hear quite often. So I'm going to put on my engineer Mythbusters cap and try and, answer and debunk some myths here. So we'll address a few common myths around LED investments. The first myth, and probably the most common that we hear, is DV LED is just too expensive to justify. My answer to that would be that the reality is, all upfront cost per square foot is often higher, although that gap is really narrowing when you compare it to other technologies. But when you factor in long-term ownership costs, you can almost always guarantee DV LED is going to be lower. And the why to that, DV LED can last. We're talking 10 years plus on a DV LED system, over 100,000 hours of operational time on average, if not more. DV LED requires minimal maintenance, only needing service really in the event of a hardware failure. I mean, let's face it, hardware fails. It's made by people and it fails. But with DV LED, it's a very easy fix oftentimes. DV LED really eliminates the complexity of projectors and advanced edge blending and different things that go into, standing up a projection system on a large scale. Second myth I see quite often is that projection is always cheaper and it'll be more flexible for larger choices. The reality there is, once you factor in all of your real world conditions and hidden costs over time, and I got some slides a little bit down the line that'll really dive more into this. But once you really factor all that in, it's not always the case. And why? Well, because for very large or curved surfaces, projection requires multiple units, a lot of advanced image processing and edge blending, calibration, and physical support, where DV LED can scale a little more linear via its tiling modules. And I'll have a slide down the line a little bit too I can show you that. And really, even if you're looking at like a curved surface where projection would be a good fit, DV-LED would be a good fit as well, because we can do what's called faceted curves. So it's essentially just a flat LED panel that is faceted, so that it looks like a round curve. And like I said, a couple pictures down the line, you'll see that. The other advantage with DV-LED is ambient light and shadowing degrade projector image. I'm sure everyone's seen a washed out projector image. And, if you're in a really ambient area and you want, a nice crisp projection image, we're talking very, very high lumens on your projector needed to get to that point. Where, with projection, it's reflecting off of a surface versus DV-LED, which is emitting its own light. So it's a lot less sensitive to that ambient light environment. Projectors also have a limited lifetime, even with new laser technology. So often requiring replacement of the projection units or overhaul, which, increases your downtime. And then we need to realign. So labor to realign on the back end when, your overhaul is done. And myth number 3. So this is more comparing LED to LCD video walls. The myth we usually hear is LCD video walls are good enough. They're usually cheaper for indoor use and more flexible for small to medium sizes. Well, the reality to that is, as I said, DV-LED has really come down in price a lot, making that initial capital expenditure gap smaller than it was, say, 5 years ago. LCD walls are still viable in many smaller or budget sensitive installations, but like I said, DV-LED is closing the gap quickly, especially with some of the new indoor fine pitch technologies that are out there, and make the viewing angles and resolution a lot closer, to the naked eye. And then with a lot of new all-in-one options from the DV-LED manufacturers, that cost can be driven down even further. And the why to LCD panels, LCD panels have bezels, and you'll see in one of my later slides. I'm sure everyone's seen an LCD wall, and you can see some gaps in between, even with the finest of pitch, finest of bezel LCD panels. You see the seams. And with the different LCDs, being on the same wall and all together, over time, they all degrade slightly differently. I mean, it's just manufacturing 101. And, as they degrade differently, you often have to go in and rebalance these LCD walls, and even possibly replace the LCD modules. If an entire LCD unit does fail, obviously we're talking about replacing a 55-inch or larger display, essentially. So, when a display does fail, you can imagine it is a little bit of an undertaking to get that replaced. You have some downtime associated with it. And, with DV-LED, most fixes are done in 5 minutes or less. I haven't seen really many other fixes that have taken us longer than an hour. In the worst case. And with DV-LED, not oftentimes, every time, you're going to get on-site spare parts as well. So, sending cards, receiving cards, all of the critical components to DV-LED typically are provided with spares on-site that can easily be swapped in at a moment's notice. And then advances in fine pitch, as I said before, with DV-LED really make it viable for even close viewing angles and distances. And you'll see that in a couple of the upcoming slides. So some cost drivers at a glance. I put this together just for an example of a typical casino atrium display. It's a larger size display, about 40 feet wide by 22 feet high. And this is your 10-year cost of ownership. So your initial investment, being shown in year 0, and then your operational expenses as the years move on. So, what you can see here in the way that I sort of ran these numbers were a high-end LED option, because I wanted that initial, cumulative cost to have somewhat of a gap to make it a little fair to the other technologies, to be honest. And this was based off a 16-hour runtime per day. So you can imagine if your runtimes, if you're a 24/7 facility, this chart even skews further into the DV LED favor. And what you can see with LED, like I said, in the beginning, your cost of your initial investment is higher. And as you can see over the life of the LED, it's really a flat line as you go through. And really your cost of ownership in the DV LED is your operational expenses such as electricity, heating or cooling of your space. DV LED does put off some heat in many cases, not like the others don't. So that's really where your operational costs come in on the DV LED. As I said, a lot of times you're given same batch spares for most of your parts that will need replacement over the life of the LED. You can see both projection and LCD have lower longevity, so in turn higher operating costs and more maintenance costs. You can see, just as an estimate in year 4, maybe we got to replace a couple LCD panels or overhaul a projector, and then again in year 8, same thing. So that's sort of what you're seeing there. And if you want a real world cost analysis like this for your specific scenario, this is something we can easily put together for you. Don't hesitate to contact us and we can get these numbers specific to your scenario. Cool. Now the fun stuff. On to some real world. So I just wanted to show some examples of some projects we've done recently for FanDuel. This is an example of FanDuel at Mohegan Sun. We were brought into this project during the architectural design phase, so very early on, and we were included in that design process throughout, which was critical for a project of this magnitude. You can see in the bottom right photo the small form factor of the individual LED modules. You can see they're each about a foot by a foot. So, that allows for easy maintenance and scalability. We can scale that display up or down a foot of width very easily. And here we partnered with Peerless for the custom mounting system that was ceiling hung to support the immense weight of that DV LED system. Unilume did the LED here, and we had TV1 for image processing. And those three just merged together an outstanding end result, which you'll see in the next slide. So this is a shot from the entryway at Mohegan Sun. You can imagine walking in, the wow factor of seeing a seamless 140-foot LED screen upon walking in. I can't tell you how many comments I heard during the week of grand opening there, just people saying, wow, this is amazing. And at the time when we opened this facility, it was the largest individual DV LED wall outside of an arena in the US. Here's just another example. This is FanDuel United Center. You can sort of see the complexity really here that goes into the mounting system. This was a very bespoke design that we did for FanDuel here. The floor that you can see cut out that goes from the mezzanine down to the first floor, that was a solid floor when we walked through in our initial visit. So you can see how seamlessly the video wall fits into the space. And we actually had to coordinate the size of the hole to be cut in the floor to fit that LED perfectly. We're talking very fine tolerances here. This just echoes why it's so important for AV to be included in the earliest conceptual designs. This space was designed around the AV. As you'll notice with the front wall, if you look toward the bottom of the right-hand picture, this wall had to be floor supported and tied back to the wall for stability, again, because of the immense weight of this wall. And here we partner with Barco for the LED and image processing, and Draper designed the custom mounting system here to be floor supported and basically tied back to the wall for stability. And here's a finished slide of a view from the second floor at United Center. What you can see is that there are no visible seams. You can look as hard as you want, but you won't see any. Even where the second floor wall is sort of coming into that two-story large wall, that gap was less than 2 millimeters. So, from a floor position or a mezzanine position, it's non-existent to the naked eye. There's no way to see it. And here's a cool shot just from the ground floor there, sort of looking up at that second floor wall. This shot I really like because it highlights the ability of DV LED for us to be able to customize many layouts on each wall to accommodate, let's say, one large event like the World Series that you want to be in your face at all times and the feature of everything that's going on in your space. And then, being able to trigger different presets and different layouts on the wall to then also handle large events like March Madness, where there's many concurrent games at the same time, and they're all equally important to your customers. So, we can customize these walls to pretty much anything your mind can come up with. And this last example here is of FanDuel at Motor City. So this was a project we did some years back. This initial photo is of a LCD wall in the center there. That LCD wall has a 0.44 millimeter bezel. So when you couple the two together, it's basically a 1 millimeter bezel that you're seeing around. You can sort of see the lines in the picture. It's definitely, a little more noticeable when you're on site. And then we have 4 86-inch displays surrounding that feature wall. And what you'll see, this technology is still relevant and it's still used and it still has its place. It looks spectacular. But what you'll see in the next slide is the increase in the wow factor and flexibility of DV LED. And there you can see the upgrade. I love the shot of our engineer, Mark Brash. He's enjoying some tennis and while he's programming the new video wall layouts. So you can see we have a little fun while we're doing this stuff too. Another budget-friendly option to this is, like I mentioned a few slides before, is the all-in-one DV LED solutions. These systems are pre-configured to specific sizes and very easy to install and integrate, which allows us to come in at a lower price point for a lot of those types of systems. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Scott Kroeze, our VP of Professional Services, to talk about support. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jay, and hello, everyone. Amazing technology, right? How do we support it? How do we keep it up and running? Our customers invest in AV systems to serve their customers, and in many cases, generate revenue with these systems. So how best to serve and deliver value to your customer? Well, it's our job to help you maximize the uptime of those investments. It is still technology, as Jay mentioned, so disruptions are going to happen at some point, but it's what do we do about it to minimize those disruptions and mitigate the frequency? What we've come to learn is the best way to maximize uptime is to partner with our customers to build a tailored support program that best aligns your needs to our stack of professional services. And that's really going to yield the best result. So with that said, I'd like to walk you through how we do it and what makes us different. So I'm really proud of this slide. We've worked really hard from the top down, our investments to support our clients, the tools, the people. This is a really proud slide for me. We have over 50 professionals dedicated to supporting our customers across the country and worldwide for that matter. We have an award-winning process, which I'll walk you through here on the next slide. We've invested in enterprise softwares to support those initiatives. We have a 24/7 help desk. We have a dedicated hospitality SWAT team, which is critical for this environment, that knows these systems and knows the applications thereof. Our remote monitoring and management tools that really allow the power of that team to be effective, and we'll talk more about that. And also unique in the industry is a customer success team, an advocacy team to ride alongside all throughout the journey to ensure that we're maximizing those investments. So much so, it just kind of blows my mind where we've gone. We're going to process about 7,000 tickets this year across all customers. But not just, it's one thing to process that many tickets, but to maintain and really to achieve a 96.2% customer satisfaction rate in that process is something that I'm really proud of the team for delivering those results. So this is our process, our award-winning process. NSCA awarded us the Excellence in Customer Experience this year. And there's a reason why. This process, it's a proprietary process. We worked really hard at implementing it. It's designed to deliver a customer intimate experience 7,000 times a year, right? When your ticket comes in, it's the most important thing to you. And we want to make sure that you feel that way. So our process is deliberately designed for all of our incidences to come in and they go to tier 1. That's a customer coordination. They're located geographically in your region. It's a familiar person, a familiar voice. They're there to care for you. They understand your entitlements and your contracts. They can facilitate payments. They're the director of what needs to happen and they know you. And that's where some of that intimacy comes into play. Now, they're going to then use some discernment and they're going to use intelligence. We're using, I call it intelligent routing. We're using technology to route to the right coordinator, but we're also using technology and we're using human discernment to get to the right person to solve your problem. We don't want randomness. We don't want unpredictability. We want consistency and predictability. Well, how do you do that? You get the right information to the right person. So our tier 2, our help desk and our subject matter experts, we have a VNOC across the country, across different time zones to really support our customers 24/7. And they're going to really dive in, identify the issue, and they're the ones that are facilitating resolution. But we also have subject matter experts that are there to support them. We have network engineers, we have AV engineers, we have programmers that are dedicated to supporting the help desk and supporting our SWAT teams. Now, there's going to be times where even remotely, we cannot solve the problem. Although we're going to talk about how successful we can be at solving the problem at tier 2, which is super exciting and exciting for you as well. But there will be times where we're going to have to dispatch, right? That display may have failed. It's going to physically need to be replaced. And that's where we'll escalate that then to tier 3 with on-site dispatch, or even escalate up to manufacturer support or our on-site engineering team if we need be, all in cooperative. So a full 4-tiered process. And you see there in the upper left-hand corner, the customer success team. They're there to ride parallel throughout this entire process as a customer advocacy group. They're going to maintain that relationship with you, and they're really there to champion your priorities and help, really peel back the onion and make sure that we're achieving all of our goals with you. So let's take a look at how this kind of plays out in reality. So the first thing is every one of our customers gets set up with a portal, a ticket portal, where you'll be able to submit tickets, you'll be able to review tickets. This is just, we have some information blurred out here, but a sampling out of our portal here. You'll be able to see all your own tickets, all the tickets for your own organization, the status of those tickets. You can drill into these and then follow along and communicate within the ticket itself. So you don't need to worry about, like, where's that email, what's going on? And we have a lot of internal, part of the process that we didn't talk about on the previous slide is a lot of internal SLAs that are designed to push our people forward to be proactive with you. So you're not having to reach out to us saying, hey, what's going on? What's the status? We're reaching out to you saying, hey, I want to let you know this is happening. This is the next step. And it always comes across as proactive in nature. So after your request is in and we're executing our resolution, let's take a look at what other tools we have at our disposal that takes us to the next level. So leveraging the power of HubSpot, those enterprise softwares that we talked about, we built a support analytics dashboard for every one of our customers. We want to really ratchet up the accountability, the continuous improvement, and the use of this data together. That's a key word here, in true partnership. And what we're looking at today is it's a snapshot of real data from a couple weeks ago from an actual customer. This happens to be a large multi-site national gaming client, if you will. And what are we measuring? What are we looking at, and why is this important here? We're looking at everything from tickets per month, tickets per year. Our customer engagement score we talked about, that 96.2%, we're really proud of. It's not always going to be perfect information. Look, if you look at Q3, we had a dip. Well, why? What happened? Was there a miss of expectation? Did you miss expectation? Did we miss expectation? Let's drill in. Let's discover. Let's have a conversation. I remember when this happened and by the way, 7 is the max score, in case anyone was wondering. That's the best you can get. But when it happened, it was immediate. Let's pick up the phone and let's have a conversation and how do we fix this, right? So it's actionable intelligence is what's coming out of this, and it's so critical. We're measuring, the key buzzword: mean time to resolution, mean time to close. Those are important. We may see a blip on the radar. What happened? Let's drill into that location and see what the issue is. Is there something that we can feed back to the engineering team as we progress our technology and partnership together? And as a point of accountability, and our team is really proud of this, we're measuring how fast we're able to respond to you, both from a coordination team and a technical team. So let's look at some other important metrics and learnings that we can apply with our customers. So we're also measuring ticket types and root cause, the manufacturers that may be more problematic than others, the tools used to resolve the issue, and probably the most important chart on this slide is that one right there in the middle and the bottom, and that's tickets requiring dispatch. And there's so much that goes into this. But as you can see, and we're really proud of this, that 90% of every ticket, of every issue that comes in for this client, we're solving remotely. We're not having to dispatch somebody on site to resolve an issue traditionally. The partnership we've worked together, the remote monitoring and resolution, the tools that we've deployed to resolve issues remotely, this is the result. There are many tickets for this particular client that are resolved. We're talking minutes, very, very quick to resolve a lot of these issues. And what does that result in? Happier customers, right? Now, one thing I also want to point out, and you don't see on this chart, is we're capturing customer-specific data for you, such as site identifiers, internal ticket IDs, part numbers, room names. All of those are captured in our tickets 100% of the time, and all of these charts can be filtered or pivoted off of those identifiers. So we can really drill in and look for bright spots, right? Or maybe identify the root cause of some low spots. So super important to have this intelligence. It's part of continuous improvement and our partnership together. So while this has been brief, I hope you're able to kind of see how our process combined with our technology really helps us elevate your AV systems with a much more predictable outcome and therefore happier customers. And with Jim, with that, Jim, I'll pass it back to you.
Scott, I appreciate it. I just want to say I am probably most proud also of Scott and his team. They have brought us from the hospitality, for our hospitality customers, huge satisfaction. And I just want to let you know that we also can adapt and apply these same things to existing facilities. So it doesn't have to be a facility we built. If you've got a facility operational, you want a SWAT team that understands hospitality, we have a solution for you. And Scott and his team are standing by to do it. So very, very proud of what Solutionz has done over the last few years in the hospitality market. So I just want to thank everybody for spending time. If anybody has any questions, please post them here and we'll be happy to answer them.
We got a couple coming in, Jim.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them here, Jay. So go ahead if you see them.
Yeah. Okay. So question one looks like, what kind of maintenance or downtime should we expect?
Got it. Yep. They just showed up here.
Yeah, cool. I could take that. I could handle that one.
Please.
Please. I love the question because that's one of the greatest features about, LED is there really is virtually no maintenance or downtime. As I said previously, electronic parts fail. It's just the nature of electronics. And with LED, most fixes are under a minute, and we can easily train on-site staff to be able to perform those fixes. That coupled with our first-class, remote support, as Scott discussed, allows us to get that LED system, up and running virtually with no downtime.
Fantastic. Next question. How early should AV teams be brought into the architectural design process? And I'll handle that one myself. I think we've tried to make it clear as early as possible. As Jay articulated in a couple of the examples he gave on LED screens, and that screen we hung from the ceiling at Mohegan, that custom screen with the floor blowout, if we weren't involved early, we could not have achieved the end result that we achieved. So as soon as a architect is hired and a space is chosen, our recommendation is to bring an AV consultant and an AV company like ourselves in to work with you from budgets all the way through to getting bids out on the street and then execution. So as early as possible. Next, we have what network requirements are needed to support the remote monitoring and system access you mentioned. Scott, I think that's sort of up your alley.
Yeah, I'll address that. It's kind of one of those, it depends kind of questions. Really what is going to happen is part of that early consultative process is to understand what your security requirements are, your regulatory requirements, and really kind of see how much remote access we can get and still be within the confines of your requirements. So that's going to be conversations with our network engineers, our engineering staff, your IT team, where we can talk the talk. We can get as nerdy as we need to from a technical and network standpoint to really see, what we can do. And we're going to give some great examples and some things that we've done in the past with other clients and, see if we can align those two things together. So a little bit of it depends, but it's part of that partnership where we're going to work together to see what works best.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. We've got a couple more minutes. If anybody has any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. I just want to thank everybody for attending. I want to thank everybody for giving us some time today. I think in the next slide, if we want to jump over here, we can talk about we're standing by and we're ready to service you. Solutionz is a unique company that really specializes in the hospitality market, servicing hotels and gaming clients for years. We're here to assist you. My contact information is here. If you have an existing project, a future project coming up, we look forward to hearing from you and working with you. So thanks to everybody. Appreciate you all attending. Thank you.
Thank you.